hello again. Merhaba, ahlan ve sahlan, if I can pull it right. And hello to the amazing Web Summit audience here with us today. Very good to be in your company. I'm Elif Bereketli, as Heidi just announced. I am a journalist from Istanbul, and I'll be moderator for this session. Now, today we're trying to paint a picture here together with my two amazing guests. The picture of the fintech industry, the state of the fintech industry and the Gulf region. It has huge potential, doesn't it? It has amazing future, but then does it not have any pitfalls? Of course it does have pitfalls, and today we're gonna, talk about both sides and trying to paint a general picture. Without further ado, let's dive right in. And Khalifa, may I start with you, please? Why don't you tell us about the gaps you believe are about the fintech ecosystem in the Gulf region, and then we can turn to Homam and get his opinion about the same topic.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on the stage. I wanted to say welcome to everyone to Qatar if you're new here, and if you're new to the Web Summit, I hope that you're having a fantastic experience. And of course, special thanks to our guest. Welcome. Thanks for coming to Qatar. In regards to the fintech space, first of all, I'm a technology lover. I love the hardware side, I love the software side, and I love the fact that we're trying to figure out how we can engage technology companies finally here in Qatar with more financial institutions. Where I feel like there's a little bit of a gap, especially after I had invested in a fintech company known as PayLater, focused on BNPL solutions, is when it comes to from a social point of view, taking risks and having the opportunity to try something that maybe hasn't been tried before. Because you see, in our culture in this part of the world, it's quite normal to wait to see if somebody's done it and then try to see how you can replicate it or bring it over to our part of the world. What I would say is that, definitely we need to start taking a little bit more on the riskier side and encouraging people to do things that are quite unique. Now, in regards to gaps, I think one of the issues and one of the things that's missing, at least here in Qatar, are institutions that provide financial insurance. Meaning, when it comes to BNPL, when we are going ahead and providing, the funding to individuals so that they can purchase items, that they want, and we are providing that cash, to companies, there will be a time where there will be some individuals that might, one, default, two, decide that, or be put into a situation where they can't pay. Question is, how can we make sure that we don't make things too strict so that we don't provide them with the tools needed so that they can live the best life possible, but also give companies the security needed so that they can, again, take more risks?
All right, it's great you say that. I want to direct that question to you. How to find that balance that Khalifa just mentioned?
All right. Actually, let me give you a background about GCC and the opportunities in GCC by itself. We are a young population. Okay, and majority of our population, 60% is less than 30 years old. So the opportunity is great in our, society, and I trust that it makes it really different. The ecosystem, it does help, especially with different, I would say that system right now that they support the entrepreneurs and the cultures where a new generation can take the lead and make it in the privatization privatization sector rather than taking it as a governmental sectors and keeping everything's done by the government. No, give the chance to the private sectors to do. That's create multiple opportunities to the SMEs to come and do the business, and that's why we have seen multiple successful stories right now within the economy. And the beauty thing that we are seeing that the creative ideas, which is coming and empowered right now within the new system or the new generation, it is so nice and so different that it's coming outside the ecosystem. For example, when we look to the banking system, and I'm coming from the banking system background, we used to have only 12 banks with the economy like Saudi Arabia, one of the largest economy in the kingdom, 12 to 13 banks which are licensed to conduct the business. Now, as of today, we have, yes, we have 12 banks, we have multiple international banks, we have MBFIs, more than 60 licensed MBFIs, and we have more than 60 or 70 right now fintech company, which is are only under the central bank licensing, in addition to the CMA, which is they are offering different type of licensing. That create a great opportunity for now fintechs and for a new generation to come to the to play a major role in the economy right now. I trust the opportunity is huge. The challenges is much smoother. The system and the regulators, they are building a much, they pave the ground now for everyone to conduct the business in much transparent way, and that it will create opportunity of success much higher for especially for the small and medium enterprises.
Okay, we don't have much time here because these sessions are so dynamic and it's limited to 20 minutes. So I want to ask this rapid fire questions. Homam, the situation of the fintech ecosystem in the Gulf, one word, how would you describe it?
It is the real opportunity for the young generation, and I trust that right now the economy or the regulator right now, or the government, they are putting a lot of investments, and we have multiple stories like what we have seen in Saudi Arabia, that SVC, Saudi Venture Capital, it's initiated about 5 years ago. Now it is largest in the Middle East. It just been announced about a month ago that it is becoming the largest SVC in the Middle East and North Africa, and that's because of the opportunity we have seen with VCs across the globe.
Because it's full of potential and it's growing.
Absolutely.
So full of potential, growing. What about you, Khalifa? How would you describe it?
First of all, it's exciting. I think there's so much opportunity.
Yep.
You know, right now it is I want to say it's the GCC dream, because this is a chance for anyone from any part of the world to come over here and help to build a part of the future.
Yep.
And of course, it's a little bit frustrating right now for new fintech companies who are trying to, again, come up with new concepts and new ideas, because it is a mind shift, yeah?
Yep.
You've got as my brother mentioned, you got the older generation and maybe legacy systems and solutions, and you've got the younger people who just want to break things and do things different. But you know what? Wherever there's frustration, that means that's opportunity for you to come up with a solution.
I think when we're talking about the region in financial terms, we're always talking about potential. There is great potential here in the Gulf region, but let's make this time useful. And maybe, are there any messages you would like to send to brave people here who are trying to break into the fintech industry, or maybe authorities or private sector in general? Because Homam, you work with the Saudi government,
yep,
with the Kafalah program, and you are a private sector representative here with what you do with PayLater. So, any messages? What should be done? What should never be forgotten?
Actually, I trust that the momentum right now, it is in the peak, and we need to catch, you need to catch the wave right now. I will speak numbers, and people, they love numbers normally. We have this program, which is, it used to be, for 10 years, the total amount generated is about 10 billion Saudi riyal. It's equal to 10 billion Qatari riyal also, through almost 11 or 12 years. In the past 4 to 5 years, we made 86 billion additional. And this is purely because of this type of business and the opportunity which we have seen. So our portfolio is reaching 93 billion Saudi riyal, and majority in the past 4 years. The second thing, when we talk about tech, and we are talking today, we are in such an opportunities today with Web Summit. We just launched last year a program, and it was purely with NTDB, which is related to the technology. It was 0 Saudi riyal at the beginning. Within 1 year, it reached 1.4 billion Saudi riyal, and more than 130 SMEs, whom they are entrepreneurs, and they are reaching to the stage that they found it a great opportunity. I trust this is a major transformation we are seeing. Even the lead generators, they are not anymore Banks, they are doing the good job, but it is not only banks. The lead generator is coming from the new sources, exactly as my brother Khalifa mentioned, that there's a new opportunity. We can see it, like, for example, crowd financing or group financing, that it become a new opportunity for the businesses, never been observed as a source of financing for the SMEs.
Okay, repeat that again. That was one good last sentence, Homam. Could you please, for the SMEs, what message you would be sending?
I'm saying that this is the time, this is the opportunity. Go ahead and proceed. Just make sure that you keep your books right and make sure your financials right. Keep your record correct and apply. If you catch the wave, you are going to be successful, definitely.
And especially in the Web Summit, the first Middle East edition of the Web Summit, I think it's a great place to do that. How about you, Khalifa?
You see, with every single business that I've ever invested in, the one thing that I focus on from the get-go is focusing on the community. I understand who it is that I'm trying to target. I understand exactly how I want to communicate with them. And I believe that I am part of that community as well. So it's not that I'm an outsider trying just to cater to them. So I think with PayLater, what we try to do is we try to ensure that we have ethical policies in place. Our goal is not to increase anybody's debt or put them into a situation where they can't financially survive in the future. No, it's the complete opposite. It's about how do we help you manage your finances? How do we help you be able to afford something over 1 or 2 or 3 payment cycles so that you can literally, and this is why it is our tagline, it is live now, pay later. And so I want to be also very clear is that financial institutions have this image, whether it is the traditional banks and so on, that they're a little bit complicated. There are many forms that you have to fill out. So there's, you basically have to provide collateral of your house, your car, and your firstborn son. It's really complicated. For us, yes, there are steps, that are involved when it comes to BNPL solution. But how do we simplify it enough so that you can also understand clearly what you're getting yourself into, and so that you can afford the things to give yourself a better quality of life? That's what people want. People want to understand what they're doing. Because how many people have ever taken a loan or taken a facility not clearly understanding what compounded interest is or what a principal is? I know it seems very simple, especially in the fintech space and seeing all of these amazing people here. They know it, but the average person doesn't.
Yep.
So how do we make sure that we can provide a solution that's different and helps people live a better life?
Good question. Now, okay, let's try something here. Why don't you ask one question, Khalifa, to Homam, and Homam asks one question to you? Because you know what? They will probably have better questions for each other because they are within the industry. Okay.
Okay.
Khalifa, go first, please.
All right. So first of all, this is a fantastic opportunity for me to ask this question, to someone who works in an entity that funds all of these private sector businesses. Hopefully, this will also give you some inspiration.
Thank you.
I hope it's a positive answer.
Oh, yeah.
What is the percentage of the success rate percentage of these private businesses or startups that you provide, the guarantee financing for?
That's a smart question, Khalifa. Okay. Let me give you the history, and I will give you the current. Historical banks and MBFI, they used to hesitate to give financing to startup businesses and for SME businesses. They always shy out, and they always declare that the bad loan rate is above 8 to 9%, and that's why the interest rate always reflecting really high in the roof. I would say that's 14, 15% you used to see it. Now, in our portfolios, our non-performing loan is less than 2%. It's about 1.03%, which is considered one of the lowest. And the reason why we are using, exactly, I will back to your point, we are using AI to select the right size of the loan where we are giving to the customer. So you select the right size with the right terms and the right tenors so that they will be comfortable, and you make sure that they are win-win-win. You win, the bank win, and the SME win. That's the way of the equation to be successful. However, you need to also to take some measures in consideration. For example, you need to understand that which type of businesses you are going to finance. If the business is a successful business, you give the opportunity there. But if it is a replication, there's no opportunity for that one. If you are doing a barber shop, but this barber shop, there's 60 barber shops nearby each other, what is the chance to be successful? There's not a chance. That's why you need to select the right business to tailor the loan to the right size, and you incentivize while they are successful. Now, it's a revenge time. Let me ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Okay, revenge time. Good. Okay.
Now, how do you see how we can communicate? Because you work in the media. I have seen a lot of your videos, and you've been always, you know, successful, and people, they watch you well. And how you can communicate our message, especially for the new entrepreneurs, in a way that they use the lending in the right way?
How would I communicate it? I think, okay, so there's three aspects. First of all, people don't care about brands as much as they care about individuals and the founders, and they want to hear the story.
Right.
Second of all, I think people don't care about theory anymore, you know? It's not about, you know, what some professor tells you is going to work.
Yeah.
It's all about sharing exact case examples, success stories, and also failures. So I think one of the things that we try to do here, and it's great, is we try to focus so much on showcasing and what's done well, and we forget that, listen, we also need to talk about some of the problems so that we don't repeat history.
Yes.
Yeah? The third thing that I would say is that we need to start talking normal, you know, the way that normal humans speak. No technical jargon, you know, not going overly complicated. And my father once said to me, when you talk to people, talk to people like you're talking to your mother. What does that mean?
Yeah.
When you're talking to your friends, maybe you go a little bit overboard, you're too relaxed, you might say something inappropriate, you know, that sort of thing. When you're talking to someone formally, obviously, you're not building that connection. With your mother, you will always be friendly, but you'll always be respectful.
Oh, yes.
And so that's the tone that I think that we need to have with everyone, you know, that we communicate with.
It's an awesome note to end it with, but it's the hardest thing to do when you're public speaking, right? I mean, it's a good one. Mr. Homam Hashem, Mr. Khalifa Al Haroon, it was fantastic to have you, and thank you so much for joining us today. Very good to be with you on this stage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.